What up, guys? This is John of Acosta Productions, and thanks for tuning in to Tutorial Tuesday, where we go over the latest and greatest in Final Cut Pro, Adobe After Effects, and Adobe Premiere to speed up your workflow and make you more money. Today, we're talking a little bit about color correction and making your footage look exquisite and awesome versus standard and bland. This is a quick tutorial since I'm on the road, so I wanted to go ahead and get right to it. So I'm currently in Final Cut Pro, and I just want to go over the color corrector today to make your footage look a little bit better than it normally does, especially when you're comping to a client to show them a thing or two of what you've shot without having to make it look extremely bland. So here's a commercial we shot last week. What we're going to do today is we're going to go into our color corrector over here on the left in our Effects tab in Final Cut Pro, add it into our clip, drag it down, and just a couple tips here on how to actually make it look as good as possible for a standard color correction. Let's double click on the clip. It loads it up into the viewer as we see here. Click on your color corrector three-way copy, and here we have the three-way color wheel. Now, the first thing we're going to do is balance the entire clip. So we're going to go ahead and go to the third color wheel here, the one that says whites. Give this little droplet a click, and click on anything in the clip that's actually white or as white as possible. In this case, it would be the sign that we see here. I'm going to give this a click, and it begins to add a little bit of white balance to make it look a little bit better than it normally did when we first shot it. It was a little out of whack in regards to white balance, but using this color tier, we're able to fix it. Again, color eyedropper into the white, and boom, we are a little white. Next, we're going to crush the blacks a bit. So coming onto this first wheel, we're going to give this little pin down here a little bit of a kick down to the left, which is going to crush the blacks just a smidge. And as you see, all of the black portions of the clip itself will begin to darken. It's going to give it just a little more saturation, which looks nice for a standard color correction. And then lastly, we're going to come down to the saturation option here at the bottom and just toggle this a bit, because we want to make sure that it has enough saturation to look attractive but not extremely out of whack. And the best way to kind of gauge this is by seeing the color of her skin. In our clip here, we have her looking a little bit red, so just a tinge of red. We can bring that down by one of two ways. We can bring the saturation down a bit, but it's also going to bring down the rest of our clip, making it look a little black and white. So what I would actually suggest is coming up to our mids, and a little trick we can do here is if you hold our Command key on our keyboard and click on this little dot in the center of our color wheel, we can begin to move it around, and it will actually change all of the mid colors and the warmths and depths of it to whatever we want. And now as we move it, I'm just moving it down to the bottom a little bit and very microcosmically shifting the amount of color inside the clip. That looks about right. Cool. Bring the saturation up a little bit more just to make it not so black and white, and boom, not too bad of a color correction right on the fly. If we click on our little eyeball check option in the top left of this window, we see that we can toggle the filter off and on. By turning it off, we see what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. Again, before and after. So as we see, we've warmed up the clip just a bit. Looks great, and that is the best way to do a quick color correction when you're on the fly and want to show it to your client. Cool. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. My Twitter name is The John Acosta. Add me at The John Acosta, and I'll follow back. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We are doing tutorials every single week on Tuesday for the latest and greatest in Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, and After Effects. All right, my name is John Acosta. Take it easy.